international welterweight contest of 10 rounds, 3 minutes each round. Presenting from Bermondsey, the welterweight champion of Europe, Lloyd Honeyghan. And from Philadelphia in the United States, Stafford. My lords, ladies and gentlemen, this match was made at 10 stone 9 pounds, and at the weigh-in today, Honeyghan scale 10 stone 6 pounds, Stafford 10 stone 8 pounds. Your referee for this contest is Mr. Larry O'Connell, and your timekeeper, Mr. Ray Wright.
Yes, I don't think there's any doubt at all that Stafford, coming from the right, is a danger man. Only stopped once, and that by the formidable world champion, Don Curry. 10 rounds. Honeyghan in the black trunks, coming out with his hair shaved alarmingly close to his skull. And the red-trunked Roger Stafford, 31 years old now, a man who's been in with 3 world champions. And beat one of them. That was Pipino Cuevas back in 1981, not in a world title fight, but in a non-title fight, and he put Cuevas down and outpointed him, producing one of the major upsets of that year. Roger Stafford from Philadelphia. Honeyghan, who won the European Welterweight Championship in January, back in this ring at the Albert Hall only 3 weeks after his last appearance here. And that was when he met the substitute, R.W. Smith, the son of Andy Smith, his manager. And Smith came in at very short notice to replace a Venezuelan and gave a good account of himself, but had to pull out after 6 rounds with a damaged hand. Well, Honeyghan is opening up and chancing his arm here in these opening minutes against a man with a good left hook. Not ranked as a great puncher in the States, Stafford, but he's produced a good left hook on occasions and stopped 1 or 2 men. Honeyghan has just been brought into the top 10 of the world's welterweights by the World Boxing Council, and wants very badly to protect that top 10 ranking, and he certainly won't keep it long if he loses this. Honeyghan, 24, 7 years younger than Stafford. Honeyghan's left, moving in crisply. And at this moment, looking a good deal sharper than Stafford. Well, that's a good brisk start by Honeyghan, the European champion from Bermondsey. He certainly outboxed Stafford in that opening round, put his punches together well, punched a lot sharper and faster than Stafford, and all in all, gave a pretty good account of himself. 24 years old, he's been brought along slowly by his manager, Terry Lawless. In fact, Lawless in the earlier days was criticised a bit for holding him back, but I think it's paid off. Honeyghan's won all his 22 professional fights, 13 of them inside the distance. Went to Italy in January and won the European title against an Italian, Gianfranco Rossi. Knocked him out in 3 rounds to win the European crown. That was a good performance. Not too many British fighters go to Italy and come back with titles. It's a very difficult place to win. And tonight's an important fight for him because he's meeting a good American here, and he wants to give a really good performance against him.
Seconds out, round 2.
Stafford in red. 34 pro fights behind him against Honeyghan's 22. It's only 18 months since Stafford was fighting for the world title, for the WBA title, against Don Curry, the man who recently beat Colin Jones in this country. Stafford did not last very long with Curry. 1 minute and 42 seconds, that's all, in Sicily in September '83. He was caught absolutely cold in the opening round by a good fighter, Curry. He was down 3 times before he was stopped. It's the only time he ever has been stopped.
Right. Right, stand back. Lose your toe.
He's getting through. Getting through well, Honeyghan. Sharp and fast and confident. That European title win has done him a power of good psychologically. Stafford at the moment, looking all his 31 years. Stafford, to me, looks a bit surprised at the way Honeyghan has gone off here in these opening 2 rounds. He's looking hard-pressed and uncomfortable, having a job to get his boxing together, and he's hurt. And Honeyghan is finding him with everything. Straight punches, hooks, the lot. Upstairs and downstairs. Let's have a word now from my companion at the ringside, ex-world middleweight champion Alan Minter. Good start by Honeyghan here, and do you agree with me that Stafford looks a bit surprised by it?
He looks very surprised. I mean, Honeyghan's a hell of a fighter, and I think now being the European champion, it's brought him on leaps and bounds, Harry. You know, he's boxing with confidence, he's got everything going for him. He's using his boxing ability, his jabs are going in well, his crosses are going in well. And Stafford seems to be, you know, not too capable of answering him back at this stage.
Seconds out, round 3.
And Stafford taking a full minute's rest. The old pro. There's the first sign of danger. A right hand sneaked over there, and Honeyghan felt that. One or two tricks now, I think, coming up from Stafford.
Right.
Back in '82, Stafford met Milton McCrory, the current WBC welterweight champion, with whom Colin Jones had those 2 tremendous fights. Stafford had a non-title fight with him and went 10 rounds. According to all the reports, showed an excellent chin. In other words, he could take a punch. Honeyghan has a European title defence coming up within the next 2 months or so against Gilles Elbilia of France. Fell over throwing the punch. Swung the big left, missed and overbalanced. Showing the full repertoire of punches here, Honeyghan. Closing seconds of the third. Oh, Stafford and his connections will be well pleased to hear that bell. That was some attack by Honeyghan. And if he'd started it a little earlier in the round, there's no telling what might have happened. We can show you it again. It was some attack. He'd been mixing his punch as well, as Alan was saying earlier. And here again, he got within range, and the man was ducking and diving all over the place and couldn't find anywhere to hide.
Seconds out. Round 4.
Stafford has won 5 out of his last 6 fights. The one he lost was that world title fight to Don Curry.
Right.
Oh, and another one he lost to Tommy Ayres, which I'd overlooked. Yes, in Cincinnati. Hometown boy there, Tommy Ayres, outpointed him. And Honeyghan resumes the attack. I think he just needs to take care, because Stafford might still have a few nasty surprises. These good American pros are tough men, used to pressure. Honeyghan doing well and putting a lot of good work together. It shows you what a formidable fighter this Don Curry must be. He put Stafford away in 1 minute and 42 seconds.
Right, stand right back.
Honeyghan is slowing down a little. He's just got to keep his mind on the job now. Another big attack. Half a minute of this round left. Honeyghan seems to have a built-in clock. He knows when the end of the round is coming up. Slightly weary looking Stafford going back to the corner. Alan, nobody knows better than you how tough these American pros can be. And I think, you know, Lloyd needs to be just a bit careful. He mustn't get complacent.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Harry. He needs to be careful because Stafford, you get these old pros that have been around, they box the best in the world, and now they've got no ambition left. They come over to this country, basically, and they're capable of beating or producing upsets of our British fighters. I mean, you can see Honeyghan hitting Stafford with punches left, right, and jabs all night long, but all of a sudden they're capable of taking these punches, and out the blue they sling one of their own over, which could be very, very dangerous. So Honeyghan's got to be alert all the time.
Round 5.
Speed of the left jab, quite impressive from Honeyghan. Wrapping it into Stafford's head 1, 2 and 3 times in a row. The American still producing dangerous looking counter punch occasionally. Sign of the danger again. Bit of fight left there yet. They certainly do breed them tough in the States, because Honeyghan has put together a lot of good work here, and I dare say that quite a few European opponents would have been on the deck and probably out of the fight by now, having taken the same sort of punishment. And this man's got plenty left. In trouble now. Stafford trapped on the ropes and looking weary again. Finds the 3 minutes hard to get through. Very flat-footed Stafford. And at 31, I think one can say that he has a bit of trouble going 3 minutes under full pressure. He was certainly weakening in the last half minute there.
Seconds up. Round 6.
Honeyghan certainly having a busy year. This is his 3rd fight of 1985. He only had 1 throughout 1984. He had some hand trouble, and in fact he now has a steel pin in his left thumb. And Stafford looks as though he might be going. No, he's taken it and come back again. This is the 6th. Well, Honeyghan very much on trial tonight against good American opposition. And he's taken his opportunity with both hands here. And so far, everything he's done has been impressive. And Stafford is getting more and more flat-footed. Big, deep breath from Stafford. Finding the going very, very hard now. And I think the resistance is gradually being drawn out of Stafford. His arms are coming down. And he's getting into more and more trouble. Nowhere to go now except the ropes. And this is the moment when Honeyghan mustn't let him go. Well, you can see for yourself what a strong man Stafford is. No wonder he's only been stopped the once. Might be twice tonight if Honeyghan keeps this up, though. So now we've had 6 extremely good rounds from Lloyd Honeyghan. What do you think, Alan? Do you think he can stop him now? There's still 4 rounds to go.
Yeah, I think he's capable of stopping Stafford. But see, these old Americans, it reminds me when I fought M.R. Griffith. I mean, the man had just lost on a decision to Daga, and then he fought me for an eliminator for the title. And these guys, you hit them, you almost knock him out, then you hit him with another shot, and you bring him back into the fight again. And this seems to me what's happening. Honeyghan hitting him and almost knocking him out, hitting him again, and bringing him back into the fight, which is very frustrating.
I'll say.
Seconds off, round 7.
Worth remembering that Stafford has won all but 3 of his last 17 fights. One of those defeats was a world title fight. Doing his little switch to southpaw there. He does that occasionally. Frustration at going on hitting somebody and getting nowhere, and might be a sign of that frustration that Lloyd has turned himself into a southpaw, just trying to bring something new to bear. No way that Stafford has won a round yet. Honeyghan still southpaw. And Stafford still fighting back at the end of that 7th round. And this crowd coming up with an appreciative round of applause here for these two men. I think particularly for Stafford, who's been under heavy fire now ever since the start of this fight. Clearly tired, but still dangerous.
Second round 8.
So 3 rounds now left. Can Honeyghan stop him and become only the second man to do that to Stafford? I don't know whether Stafford's hurt his right hand, but he's moving it about as though he has. Some numbness there, perhaps. Another one of those weakening body punches. Stafford, slipped to a right, slipped exactly in the same spot that Honeyghan did earlier. Did the same thing in that very spot. I was going to say that I had the impression that Stafford was just hanging in there now, just courage holding him in there and experience. He looks desperately tired to me.
Get back.
This will be a useful lesson by Honeyghan in how tough certain American opposition can be. And again, Stafford just nods his head and plods wearily back. Honeyghan still looks fresh, but perhaps puzzled as to how a man can stand up under what he's been handing him. But this is, as I say, a useful lesson for a young fighter, because it does prove to him that there are some very, very tough Americans in this world, and there's never an easy one in the top 10. And you have to keep going, keep your defenses together, keep throwing the punches, and keep in front and not get careless. And Honeyghan now has 2 more rounds to get through.
9.
And the crowd have enjoyed this fight. Roger Stafford from Philadelphia in the red trunks. Lloyd Honeyghan, the European welterweight champion from Bermondsey. And Honeyghan a mile in front. Can't have lost a round. In some ways a little bit reminiscent of that great McGuigan fight the other day in Belfast, when he had a good opponent against him, and although he was well ahead, you always had the feeling that the other man might just spring something alarming even towards the finish, as indeed he did. Suddenly up on his toes again. It's the lightest sort of dancing that Stafford's done throughout the fight. Interested now, I think, in keeping out of trouble. Not throwing much himself. Bleeding quite heavily inside the mouth, I think. And I think Stafford is now beginning to settle for going the distance. And Honeyghan's had to go looking for him this time. Oh, and Larry O'Connell has seen enough. Towards the end of the 9th round, he's decided that Honeyghan is so far in front, there is no point in allowing it to go on. He's decided that Stafford has nothing left to offer. And so Honeyghan stops his man in the 9th. And he's only the second man in Stafford's career to stop him. That's a good performance by our European champion. Make no mistake, that was good opposition, tough man. Alan Minter, how do you sum all that up?
Well, I would say give Stafford his due. He done very well to last as long as he did. I mean, you get some Americans that come over, they last 4 or 5 rounds to put on a show. They get hit on the chin, hit to the body, and over they go. But yeah, he took some great punches, Stafford, and he stayed there all the way through.